Welcome, this is Kim Beegler, owner of Ewethful Fiber Farm and Mill, and we are here in the wool mill today with a load of multiple colored different Shetland wool moorit colored fleeces. So they're all this different colors of brown, and we're gonna start picking right away so that we can start carding. So welcome, if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome. Just welcome everybody. And this is a great time to say, speaking of welcome everybody, Ewethful is an inclusive environment, meaning that all sexes, all gender identities, all skin colors, all religions, all economic levels, all of us are equal and welcome here and safe here. So if that is your vibe, welcome, and let's talk about some wool. So we have got, this is about 5 pounds of Shetland wool. I would love to just like take it all home and spin it all myself, but you know, I could probably get more later. Okay, so we are going to be blending this all up so that, and I think this is 4 different fleeces roughly. And we're gonna blend this up through the picker so that we can get some lovely wool to card for the spin to knit along. And there may be some left. I don't know, you guys. I have no idea how many of these kits will sell. So I'd love to say, if you don't want a kit, some of this Shetland will be available later. I'm guessing it will be, but honestly, I don't know. So what I'm gonna do is pull some of this up, and I've already weighed it because it's always nice to have an idea how much I have going into the picker. It's not gonna be what I end up with post carding because there is loss along the way, but it just gives you an idea. So I've got all of these around me. You can't see them all, but I'm just gonna be picking from different piles, and they're all blended too. So I'm just gonna be picking from different piles, and these are really lovely as far as good separation. By that I mean, when I pulled at the locks, I'm gonna turn this on. When I pull at the locks, the fibers aren't getting caught up on each other, which is what you love to see when you are processing wool, because it means it's going to go really well through the picker. Nothing's gonna like break or be super sensitive, and it means that my job here at the picker is minimal, hurrah, which is not always the case. So I'm gonna put my shoulders back. Sometimes I watch these videos and I'm like, gosh, no wonder your neck and shoulders hurt. So like between standing at these machines and then going home and knitting and doing all the other things I do, it's like so many people that sit at a computer all day. It just adds up. So anyway, there we go. So some of this is a little bit tighter, but that's okay. We're just gonna blend it all, and I'm just gonna be mixing it up. So just grabbing from different buckets and letting the picker do its magic. And I'm not gonna have you stand here for 5 pounds of wool. That would be excruciating, right? The picker is, I think I've said this before, but if there were a least favorite place to be, it's probably the picker for me, because it just, I don't know why. But then when I open that picker door, I'm like, well, that was worth it. It just gets a little monotonous. Now this is pretty easy because I'm not doing any blending. If I'm doing blending, it's like a little more hustled to keep up, because you just are trying to produce, right? That's the goal of a wool mill. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and let you see what the other side of this looks like. Oh, you guys, really stunning. And I have great humidity. We're about 60%, which I love. Some places may not love that, but I really do. I really, really do. So in the last episode, I started the white, and I'll be finishing that up today. I won't take you guys along since you've already seen that, but I did not have to condition that fiber before going into the carder because it's so lovely and humid in here. Whoa, sorry. Okay, here we go. Let me lower it so you can see in as those are going in. Now let's run over and catch some of it coming out. You can see my cat brush there is my fancy tool. So there it is, getting spewed out the other end. Hurrah! So I'm gonna keep picking. I'll let you see what this looks like when we are all done. All right, we are done. This is the second batch here. of that Shetland, and the second half, I should say. I already pulled half of it out. So I'll pull, look at that. Can you even, it's hard to not just retire and just spin this. Okay, I probably couldn't retire. It wouldn't last me that long, but still, I could take a nice long break and just spin, spin, spin. But I'm not going to, don't worry. So here it is. I'm gonna pull a little bit out for you. So this is probably 2.5, 3 pounds that's in here now. So you can see how much. Remember, we were just in a couple bins before. And now we are just a big, fluffy, beautiful mess. So I'm just gonna pull it out so you can see it up close and personal. I am not going to condition it. And hopefully we'll get it on the carder for this episode. Isn't it pretty? It's even showing up a little bit off color there, but looks a little more gray than it is brown, but oh, it's gorgeous. And here's the rest of what I pulled out already. Ooh la la. Okay, onward we shall go. Okay, we are here at the carder with the moorit Shetland, and I'm very excited about this day. There's quite a bit of it to card up. So I'm just getting the carder loaded. This is like the first it's going on. I'm excited to see how it looks. So I've got a bunch of the bins here behind you. And those I will kind of, I've already blended as I was doing at the picker. I was just grabbing from different fleeces and blending it up there. And I'll kind of grab from different bins too, but also when I'm pulling it out of the picker, I pull it out in a way that everything kind of gets shuffled. Idea being, let's just blend all those fleeces up as best as we can. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, and then we're gonna pop over to the other side here in a sec. I'm just kind of evening it out a little bit. I'm excited to see. I did not condition this because it's still like 64% humidity today. So I'm very excited about that. And here's another batch I'm putting on there. And I'm just behind you real quick, gonna weigh out one more batch just so I've got it on the ready. It's nice to have one loaded into loaded and ready to go. That way if I get sidetracked or distracted by something, I've already got one weighed out. So if like it's almost in, I can toss some more on. Otherwise you just stop the machine. But the worst thing that happens is your roving gets light and you have to stop the machine, right? All right, here we are going in. We should be, I'm gonna pull in a little bit. We should be starting to come off here, which we are. So there is our web starting to come off. I am going to stop the machine and grab and make a little bundle of it there. If you've seen this watched before, this is how you do it. This is how you get roving. I could just let that drop onto, well, technically I'd probably drop it into a box or something, and then that would be cloud. I could also put a drum on, and my drum sits down. I think you can see, maybe you can't see. My drum sits in these little white sets here. That's where they hang, the drum hangs, and I'm gonna put this in the right side. We're gonna get the roving deck going, and in the meantime, I did do a quick clean. Not really a clean, but I pulled any excess white off and then did a little quick vacuum, mostly because there's flyaways, and if I let the flyaways get too carried away, the machine will, it just starts to build up in all of the, let me grab that, in all of the gears and everything. So we don't want that, and in the chains, and it just makes a mess, and then you end up spending hours on some random day cleaning that out. Sorry, you all, that was a pretty picture, huh? Okay. And somehow I did it again where I didn't feed my, I didn't feed it all the way through. Oh, it must have got bent somewhere. All right, I'm gonna keep feeding a little bit here. There we go. I think it's in enough that it will go, and I need to attach my band over here. I'm just over here on the side. And I will find my band and attach it so that everything, the roving deck is actually attached to the machine. Otherwise, you won't get very far. And we're ready. I'm gonna pop you all down so you can see this coming out. Hopefully I nailed it and got that so it's gonna go through. I think so. Okay, here we go. Looking good. There's that. Ooh, it's beauty. Oh, so it's gonna be a little light to start, and then it'll start to get thicker because it's just starting to feed in, right? Oh my goodness, you all. Let me show you on the ground. I just love this color. I just really, really do. So now we gotta pop back over. Actually, I'm gonna stop the machine. And I am going to just go ahead and pick this up and drop it in. And we're ready to go on this side, so I can go back over here and we'll pop into the machine too in a minute. But I just want to get a little more lined up. Then I'm going to go eat lunch because it's time. It is time. I went and got my COVID and my flu shots, my COVID booster and my flu shot before getting to work. So far, so good. I've heard that people are getting a little extra from feeling a little extra not fantastic from the flu shot, or just really tired and kind of worn out. So I anticipate that for tomorrow. I do really like to, I guess you can't see me. Do you care? You can see me a little. I do like to go home and do some exercise after I get vaccines, because I just find that, especially if I did some weights or bar 3 is one of the things I do online. And if I do that, and there's weights in bar 3 a lot of time, it tends to, it just helps to move the vaccine around inside the muscles, because it's the intramuscular vaccines that we got. And so I find that it makes my arm a lot less sore afterwards. It did not work for my shingles shot, I will tell you that. That was just not, it was just a little bit more of a vaccine. As my friend said, your body's working hard to create antibodies. So it's doing all the work. We got to give it grace. Okay, let's hop over and we'll take a peek. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, that is just a happy place. You know, I'm going to spin a little bit of this before I go to Hawaii, at least for you all, obviously, for my job. All right, let's take a peek in here. You can see how it's carding out. And then let's go peek over one more time, make sure it's behaving coming out. Always looking good. That's what we like to see. No static issues. It's just a big, fluffy, oh my gosh. Gorgeous. Let me scroll in so you can see a little bit better, but it's really luscious. And the handle on it, this is all of the other farms moorit, and it's very lovely. It's got a lovely handle. So, okay, another color on the carder for the kits. When I get back, I'll talk more about the kits and the pattern and all that fun stuff. Get this knit to spin along going. All right, I had to share. I just went up to Oregon Flock and Fiber and picked up wool from one of my shearers, and I wasn't expecting it. She cleared out her wool barn, and she raises a bunch of different, but these are kind of dairy cross. So East Frisian crosses, basically, and it's a lot of wool. Like, there's multiple fleeces in those bags. We'll walk up to one of them. How's that? And they're going to be really gorgeous. So this is actually our big girls. Came from her originally. So, and they're standing right here. So we'll go look at them on this lovely evening before the rain rolls in. So let's see if I can, there's one straight ahead and the other one is hiding on the other side of that sheet there. But they are both from her flock. They're like 10 years old now, but they are East Frisian BFL crosses, and these are just going to be whatever they are, East Frisian crosses and such. But you can see some of this wool. It's really, so I really like this wool because, and it's all going to be a little bit different. I really like it because it just works up so clean. There was this, here's one that was colored. I don't know if you can kind of see a lock there. Anyway, they're so easy to process. They take dye well. And so I've got some work ahead of me. I wasn't expecting this many fleeces. And I bought some fleeces too. So we'll take a peek at those. But I just wanted to show you these while they were out. All right, you all. So let's look at the rest of the fiber that I got. I have to do this one-handed. So bear with me. Let me turn on one more light for you. See if it helps a little bit. Okay. So we have got, there's a theme to this. This is Llama that I got. Okay, we took a pause so that I could organize and not have you all having to look through every bag. Okay, let's start here. So this is a Merino BFL cross finer wool fleece. I have bought from this farm before. Always beautiful wool. Washes up well. Look at that beautiful crimp. Should be a dream. I don't do a lot of fine wools, as you all know, but I do love that. This is just a small BFL fleece. Totally random. But there's a nice lock of that. It's got a good length without being insane, because I don't want crazy, crazy length. It's probably 4, maybe 5 inches in parts. Small. This may just be something I card up and sell as the fleece alone. We'll see. Or I might blend it. We'll see. Totally random again. I was just looking for stuff that was a little different than what I, or whatever was catching my eye, basically. And I was trying not to go crazy because we've got wool, and I'll show you, and you'll have seen wool. There's wool. So just something a little different. This is natural colored horn Dorset. And I always love horn Dorset, and I thought the color was lovely. It's got these different dark grays, light grays, nice staple. I mean, for horn Dorset, you're not going to get a lot, maybe 2 inches or so, but it's clean. It's going to be a nice, easy process. Okay, let me pause you, and you can see the rest. So here's last. So this is all llama, which is weird for me, but there was a lovely llama breeder there. Who had a lot of fleece for sale. This one actually is from the same farm that I got that merino cross, and this is one of their llamas. So I just, thought it was fun that it was theirs, and I've been to their farm before and seen that llama. And so anyway, so here is some of their llama. It's not going to be like the most spectacular, but it's got, there's a guard hair right there, but not a ton, honestly. And she's so meticulous with her fiber that I knew she had worked on it for a while. This is a silky llama, and you can see hopefully how it's got like quite a luster to it in comparison. I am going to tumble these just to get dirt out like I would with alpaca, but again, I was looking for not crazy length, and so here's the length of that. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 4 inches or so. Same with this, not crazy length. What she was working with at home from that llama was 8 inches. New. I mean, lovely if you're going to do it at home, but a mill is not going to be thrilled with that. Most mills. And here's one more llama. Again, not super long, which I was looking for. I loved the color. Most likely I will blend these up with some wool, and those are my things. Not too bad. I was pretty conservative because I do have so much wool and I'm feeling overwhelmed and all that. So there it is. And there's Elsie checking it out. She's like, these aren't our fleeces. Okay, I gotta go. We're gonna go check the dye pots to see what's going on in there. All right, so we are in the dye studio. This one is done, and it hopefully will show color. Let's see. So this is like, there you go. You can see it's a nice like burnty orange color. So working on the Shetlands. This is not Shetland. This is actually just some wool top that I'm using for testers, but I put it out to my Patreon subscribers. I said, here's the colors we have. If I dye another color, what would you like to see? And they unanimously kind of said a burnty orange or reddish color. So there's our burnty orange, which I feel like I nailed pretty well. I like it. They're gonna get to vote on which, or if I don't, anyway, they get to vote on the final, like, here's our final color. So this one I did a little bit more red just because I wanted to give, the burnt orange was like number one. But several people kind of said like a maroony red or like a burnty red color. So this may not show up very true. I actually really like this color. The other thing is, so it's pretty much exhausted now. It's going to lighten up. Like stuff always lightens up. It's not going to show very well. Like 2 shades or so once it's dry. So we'll see which one they like. And this one also is pretty darn saturated. So I probably could just go lighter saturation. But we'll see once they're dry what the patrons pick for the final Shetland colors. And then we'll be ready to throw some kits together. Okay, onward we go. Hey, we're in my craft, well, one of the many spaces that I make in, but I decided to do something wild for the spinning, and I should take these off, there's probably glare on them, and use this Daedalus. And I actually bought this from a friend who wasn't using it anymore. It's like one of the original Daedalus e-spinners, and I'll admit, like, I am not necessarily an e-spinner, but there are times and places for it. And I thought, so this is that Shetland. This is the that we just carded up, I think, in this episode. I'm so off with vacation in between. So I wanted to spin it up. For the spin to knit along, we are going to be, I'm going to challenge people that join in, and it'll join in. Patreon will get access to the kits next week. And then I think on the 1st of November, what's left will go up on the website. So get on the newsletter so you get cued into when that is happening. And then I think we'll probably start around the 15th spinning. And I'm going to challenge people to, and I'll announce the pattern and everything when the kits go up, or maybe next week. We'll see. I'm going to challenge everybody to spin to that yarn weight. So it will be a cowl type situation. It's multicolored, and I'm going to challenge, so you could spin to any weight realistically, right, and get a lovely cowl. But I'm going to challenge everybody to get outside your comfort zone potentially and spin to the yarn weight as close as you can to the pattern. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the idea will be just that you, if you haven't played with how to get different yarn weights on your wheel or e-spinner, that this would be a great time, and I'll kind of walk through it a bit. So I thought, you know what? The yarn is it calls for 2-ply fingering. And I thought, I'm going to use the Daedalus. I can get really nice thin yarn on e-spinners for sure, very easily. So I thought, let me play with this. And I have it set up. I literally haven't used this in over a year. So I even had to remember how to get it to go in the right direction, which I had some issues with when I first started. And I'm at kind of a strange angle, but I'm hoping that you all can see. So I have it adjusted, and the Daedalus has this little adjustment thing. It is really nice because you can see kind of exactly where your how much spin twist is going in with this little computerized thing that is next to it. So I am spinning long draw. I am trying to get a lot of twist. I probably have a little bit too much twist in here. So to adjust that, I would just go down. I'm going to turn it off because I just added a bunch of extra twist. This is the thing about e-spinners that is not my favorite, is that you don't have the kind of the rhythm of spinning with it as much, where you would automatically slow your feet and things. You have to adjust some buttons. This does have a slow start and a slow stop to it. I believe it's a slow stop, and you can make adjustments there, so that is really nice. And actually it looks pretty good. So anyway, let's spin a little bit, shall we? And this is spinning up lovely. Fine wool Shetland. Nothing wrong with that. It's going to be, you know, a lot of these wools that will be in the kits, it's all Shetland, but it will be a little bit shorter, some of it. Some of it's a blend of both the farm that I bought from and our own Ewethful Shetland. Some of it is, see, the thing about e-spinners that is nice though, is if you have it set up, you just like sit and spin, and there is that to it. And also for traveling. I mean, I've taken my little Nano, I've put it in a basket and just like taken it on a plane. I didn't spin on the plane, but I did spin at the airport. So you can see I'm spinning long draw. I just have a nice light. My front hand really is either open or just being a guide, and it can sit and fix things. I'm gonna have to unroll some more fiber here. So anyway, I'll show you this in a minute. It's lovely. It's lovely. All of the fiber is lovely, and I'm excited to show you all the colors. Hopefully I'll have everything kind of in line next week, and I can show you where we landed on the colors. The Patreon subscribers got to vote on and all that. So all right, shall we soapbox for a bit? It's been a bit, and I've had a rough time. Like, so much has happened, and so much of it is, I wouldn't say silly stuff, right? Because it's huge and monumental, but also it's like our president just being who he is, right? And so some of it comes and goes so fast. Most of it comes and goes so fast. Again, not that there isn't a lot of devastation happening. But first off, I wanted to say kudos regarding the No Kings rallies all over the country, all over the world for that matter, not to dismiss all the people that got out in other countries to support us. And I went to one in Albany, which is a small town, because I was over at Oregon Flock and Fiber. I kind of debated which town to go to, but Albany is in my county. It's a smaller town. It's a red, you know, I live in a very red county. And so I thought it was, you know, important and fun, and it worked out that I would be at Flock and Fiber. So I went over there. It was really wonderful. I got to meet up with some friends that were there also, and they estimated about 1,200 people showed up in this little town in Oregon, right? And it happened all over the country, which is amazing that these small towns that are generally red just rallied. I heard that there were some other big rallies in Redmond, all over the state. I think there were like 50 or so just in Oregon. So spectacular, and a lot of them rural and small and peaceful, right? And I will say that a lot of the people driving through were very supportive, and somebody mentioned that it was not like that at the last rally. This was a lot more, there was a lot more support in the honking, because we were not marching, we were standing on the side of the street, and everybody, you know, had signs. So much joy, so much laughter, so much appreciation, so much hope. So if you haven't made it to a rally yet, don't be nervous. If you can make it to one, I think you will be really, it will lift you up. You know, this is a chance for us to connect and to lift each other up as a community and as a country. So hurrah for everybody who was able to get out. If you weren't, it's okay. We know you're there in spirit, and hopefully maybe the next time it'll work out better for you, or you'll feel safer, or all the things, or maybe we won't even need a rally. Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh my gosh. We'll always need rallies, but so there you go. There is our positive soapbox for that. I'm going to mention one thing, because I watched this before I left, and it really struck a chord to me. So I was just, you know, flipping through YouTube a little bit, and PBS had a spokesperson, an autistic spokesperson for autism, that was just doing a little like, here's what it's like to be autistic right now. I'll put a link in the show notes to it. It's only maybe like 3 minutes, very quick. And what this woman said, it struck me so hard, because it's so easy to not look at these things from another perspective. And I've been really intrigued by this whole Kennedy seeming like he's very obsessed with autism. Like, what is this obsession with autism, right? And and trying to eradicate it in that and such. And so listening to this woman talk about what it's like to be autistic in this culture right now, in this environment, it was truly enlightening, because it was a perspective of what we're hearing is that we are not good enough, or like not worthy people, we need this to be eradicated, basically that they shouldn't be here. And it floored me, right? We know that the rate of autism is going up purely because we understand it more and there's more diagnosis. Not that facts and science matter in this administration, but it did strike a chord there. So anyway, I really urge you to go and just spend a few minutes listening to this woman speak. It is a bit eye-opening and sad, and hopefully will, I know all my viewers have empathy, right? Just a different perspective and understanding. So there you go, you all. Kind of a soapbox. I don't know what it was this week, but there's so much going on and it's tough. So, all right. Did you see how I spun through that whole thing though? So maybe that's an e-spinner perk. Maybe I just needed to not have to do all the rhythming myself to be able to keep up on here. Okay, we got some yarn spun. So I'm also doing, because in the kits, I want to put the right amount of fiber in for everybody, like of each color. This is kind of my little sample of just, I know, but I just want to spin it and know for sure that I'm giving enough fiber that people will feel comfortable, but not too much that you have a ridiculous amount. Because this is basically going to be a lot of mini skeins. So that's super fun. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let that wrap up. I don't even know. I guess I just turn it off by unplugging it. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go take a peek. Let's go take. And I'll let you peek out the, oh, that's so funny. Okay, I might need to take you off, huh? Here it is. Ooh la la. Really pretty. I just love moorit colors, as is represented in this episode. Do you want to take a peek out my window here? I don't see any sheep up top. There's the hills out there. It's quite a lovely view. Some grass seed fields popping in just on the other side of those trees. That season. Oops, and I'm dropping stuff. Okay, let's turn around and I'll say goodbye. All right, you all. You're getting me in my 50-year-old light glory right now, because all I've done is roll out of bed, do farm chores and things like that. So here it is. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me and for staying to the end. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate all your support. We do have a Patreon community. They get lots of fun things going on over there. Discounts depending on the level, workshops, all that stuff. So, something to think about. If you're not on my newsletter, go jump on that. There's a link to everything in the show notes. So head there. In the meantime, I should see you next week. So in the meantime, everybody stay healthy. I managed to not get sick from our flight back and forth to Hawaii and our trip. Hurrah! I'm going to go with vaccines. Thank you all so much. Stay healthy. Be kind to your neighbor. Just because our administration doesn't have empathy right now doesn't mean we all can't and should do better. And make so many pretty things until I see you next time. Thank you so much, everybody. See you soon.